Let me share something with y'all real quick. So if you ask me, Philly has one of the most diverse, most creative, most unique music scenes in the world. Now, perhaps I may be a little bit biased, but I know there are a host of people out there that would want to agree with me and even regard this as fact. Fitch Means I know is no different, and he joined us for today's episode and really took us all the way back down memory lane, from the neighborhood that he grew up in to some of the things that he was a part of growing up, such as the West Oak Lane Jazz Festival. And for those of y'all who know about the Jazz Festival, man, you know the type of event that it was year and year again, and how devastating it was to see it taken away from the city. But on top of that, he really got into himself as an artist, just the message and the mantra that he puts out there, and how strives and thrives time and time again to just be as authentic as possible and just genuine as possible, but also just make sure that he loves and he's having fun with what he's doing. So without further ado, I will allow him to take it away. We will get into the ins and outs of touring, ins and outs of production, even the ins and outs of how he really got his start through a SoundCloud single. Enjoy episode 193, and this episode is very special because it is also the name of his latest single that I want everybody to check out, LUCID. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner. So look, man, it's been a busy couple of months, a busy quarter. I appreciate everybody showing love when it comes to the live event and just everything that's kind of going on with that. You know, I told y'all we were trying to do my East Coast tour, and I haven't forgotten about y'all, especially starting up in Philly, up in New York, and then just working our way down. So look, we just had to, some monkey wrenches get thrown into plan. Some things are delayed, but not denied. So we're going to make it happen. So, but very excited really for this sit down today, just because I kind of already hinted towards a little bit. This is more so towards my Philly crowd, my up north crowd, but I also want this exposure to go beyond. We have a host of artists who have come on this podcast, a host of people just in their creative spaces doing different things in their own lane, but very excited to be sitting down with Fitch Means today, just because, one, I'm interested in his story. As somebody who, I grew up in Philadelphia. He actually grew up very close to me. He actually grew up in Mount Airy. So I grew up in West Oak Lane. So sports-wise, we were rivals. Neighborhood-wise, we were, different things like that. So, but it's kind of cool just to have somebody that, grew up in the same vicinity as you, is doing dope and creative things as you in their own space, in their own lane. So very excited to, one, just get into his story, everything that he has kind of going on, what he's done to kind of get where he is today, and then what he's doing so my people can tap in with him. But before we get into all of that, bro, how's everything on your end? How you doing?
Everything is great. Like, I don't have any complaints. I woke up this morning, so I'm blessed, and, dropping a new single soon.
Come on now. Whenever you can see another 24, you can't be mad at that, So definitely happy to have you, man. Definitely appreciate the time, the quick turnaround, and everything like that. So I know that we're going to have some people from your side. I know we're going to have some people from my side. We're probably even going to have some mutuals from Philly just tapping in just the same. But we're also going to have some people who know nothing about either one of us. And those are kind of my favorite, just because they want to get to discover both sides of two creatives' minds. So can you, one, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then can you, two, just tell us what brings you on the Down to Business podcast today?
So today I'm coming on because I really want to, spread the word. Fitch Means, of course, definitely chop it up with you. I've heard so many great things about this podcast. So I'm really excited to just, be here and experience that. And currently I've just been working on music and keeping up with trends, trying to push myself even more. I have tours coming up. So I'm just staying focused.
We love focus. And, even with everything that you kind of have going on, you still are grinding. You still are thinking current, but you're also thinking that bigger picture. So I want to kind of dial back a little bit. I want to kind of go way back when. So how did Fitch Means get his start musically? How did Fitch Means really get his start creatively? Because I read some things in the bio, I read some things on the website that I'm very interested in, and I know you're going to hit on them when you explain. But for everybody out there else who wants to kind of know, who's in their kind of music era, in their kind of musical lane, who considers themselves versatile, whether they're in music or not, how did that attribute to you? What's your story?
So I've always been doing music. When I was younger, I was a drummer at the West Oak Lane Jazz Festival, due to my music teacher who really pushed me in doing music. I remember getting my first drum set. I remember always being involved in choir from pretty much first grade until I graduated. Honestly, I got a lot of solos. And so when I got into university, I went to LUCID. So when I got there, I still continued to participate in more music. And I loved music so much that I ended up pursuing it as a career. And really what happened was I released a song on SoundCloud, and it got a lot of streams overnight. So that was just the motivation and push that I needed to go ahead and pursue music. I've always, I would have to say most of the music I've done has always been R&B based, but a lot of people wouldn't know this about me. I actually started off in pop, and then I transitioned into R&B. R&B to me was always grown and sexy music, and you had to go through something to really understand it. And I felt like I was just too young, so I hadn't gone through anything, and everything to me was more pop. So, you know.
Got that. And you hit on exactly what I thought you were going to hit on, the West Oak Lane Jazz Festival, something that took place right around the corner from my house, something that my grandfather, God rest his soul, he played in for many years as a pianist. So it was really cool. I'm not going to lie, somebody who didn't pursue a career in music, that was just amazing from a vendor perspective, from just everything that was going on, from all the streets being blocked off to being outside with your friends to it being summer to everything like that. But I will say some of the most creative, most diverse, most versatile performances and performers and artists and creatives I met there, or I saw there, or I was, and even being that my grandfather kind of had VIP in a sense, I was able to even get behind stage in some things and see some things later or get access to something. So the West Oak Lane Jazz Festival, man, when I found out they weren't even doing it anymore, I was heartbroken, but it was definitely something that brought a lot of people together, provided a lot of exposure for creatives and everything like that. So with you, take me back to that experience, especially at such a young age, because I can recall my experience as somebody who was just an attendee, somebody who I had really no choice. It woke me up. It was literally right by my window. So, I had, it was all of that. They blocked they went Ogons all the way down. So as somebody who really got to be immersed in it, and especially that connection through your music teacher, shout out to them. What was that really like, being a part of something so massive, but so influential?
So I really loved the experience of performing there. Like you said, it definitely leaves an impression on you, whether you're attending or you're being a performer. I remember it was an African drum group. So we were doing congos and bongos and stuff. I did get my first VIP pass there. So that was my first time getting VIP or being backstage or kind of having that artist musician experience, I want to say. And I would say it was really well-rounded and fulfilling because I want to say, honestly, that really is what made me want to really pursue music, more so in the sense not of backstage and necessarily VIP, but that connection that you can have with such a large group of people who can resonate with your music or associate your music with an experience that they've gone through or prevailed through. So I was really blessed.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That VIP one is something different, but I feel like, it hits you differently at such a young age when you're just, because some of that is just like, you're just like a deer in the headlights. You kind of just looking around.
Right.
It's crazy that, and some of these people have been in this for years. This is what they dedicated to, their careers and everything like that. So for that to spark that interest and that passion in you, and then for you to continue to hone in on it just creatively and take different avenues, that's dope. So now, the SoundCloud moment, the moment where, you were recording music, you were into music, whether you just did it for fun, whether you just did it, as a hobby, as a passion, just to see kind of how far you could go. When you woke up and you saw so many people resonated with it, so many people showed love to it, so many people were just streaming it, and you saw that number, what was the immediate thought? Like, what did you want to kind of do from there?
It's very fulfilling because I think going into it, I was definitely not the person I am today. Going into it was very, do you like this? Do you like this song? I don't know. Do you think I should release it? Versus I feel like today I'm very like, oh no, this is hot. Like, I like this. I'm gonna put this out because I know y'all gonna really, mess with this. So back then it was really different. It was different to see people like streaming me, telling me that they liked my song. I had never experienced anything like that. And I think since then, what has really changed is I think the drive got stronger, the passion got stronger as well, and the vision got clearer. So I think that since then, I'm a way different artist, but back then I didn't even know like the little ins and outs of what types of things you should be doing prior to releasing a song. I just had that song on my heart and wanted to put it out. So I felt great.
I love that. That's just amazing, man. And especially too, when it's something that art sometimes in its purest form, you know, you appreciate that. And as you kind of even spoke to something that you just said that I love is that one, you like it. It's hot to you. And I feel like as a creative, as an artist, that's what we don't really appreciate enough. And I feel like sometimes we are so worried about the masses and so worried about what
Right.
other people want to hear, what other people like, what do you like? You know, why put out things that you don't even resonate with just because you think it's a fad, or it's one thing to keep up with the trends and the fad, but make it you. Don't
Right.
make it mainstream. Don't make it viral or clickbait or what you think people are just going to do. You know, you still have to like your passion, because then it'll become to a point where you're just creating to create for others, or creating to pay the bills, or
Agree.
creating. You lose that passion for real. You know what I'm saying? So
I
I love
agree.
the fact that you really love what you do, and
You
you, because you were at a point where you said, like you said, it was kind of and do I really want to do this? Do I really like this? You know, and sometimes that could have us go one or two ways. But that moment, sometimes that aha moment or that light bulb will go off, and then from there, it's just nothing. So as you kind of ended that answer, you said that something you were starting to learn too was you didn't even realize that there were certain things that you should do before releasing a song.
right.
Enlighten me a little bit. What are some of those things that were kind of eye opening to you, or there's some other things that you had to learn along the way with creating music?
I've learned, so you never take your first mix. There's always something to be critiqued. To be honest, I can tell usually by the time my song is done, we've gone through about maybe 7 to 10 mixes. So I know. So every little thing has to be on point. And when you're putting that product out there, you want it to sound good. You want it to be the best product that represents you. And something I want to kind of digress on was something that you mentioned a little bit when you were talking about losing that passion, something we both touched on. I want to say nowadays, because I had this debate with someone on Threads the other day, nowadays, the artist is doing the marketing, doing the business decisions, handling everything. So I don't think there was ever a time where an artist receiving marketing was at question. All artists have to market themselves. Something I also learned, to touch it back. You have to learn to market yourself. You have to push your song, even though you might record it and hear it 1,000 times. You have to keep pushing yourself, and you have to keep pushing that record. I have songs from 3 years ago that I'll play, and somebody will be like, well, oh snap, like when did you drop this? Like, is it? I'm like, this song been out for 3 years, but that just goes to show there are people out there who have still not heard your music. So you have to keep pushing it. So I don't think marketing was ever at question for artists, but I think that nowadays it's hard for an artist to be an artist and solely focus on the music, because we have to be our own managers and in between men. And, you know, we have to push ourselves, market ourselves, invest in ourselves. So I just want to touch on that, you know, I definitely see those artists and I recognize them and I understand the struggles that we all can go through or endure.
That's man, and especially when you're truly a one-man band or a one-man show, or you're not signed to like any labels or anything, or when you start your own from the ground up. I think that that's one of the hardest things to do, to wear those many hats. But that's just, sometimes people don't realize that there's more that meets the eye. Like there's more to what you see, basically. Like there's me tomorrow as a Down to Business podcast, get on here, do the live interviews. But when I click end stream on this, when I close this laptop, there's still work to be done. I check the email, I check my emails like it's social media at this point. You know, you have to be able to follow up with people, to reach out, to schedule new people, to make sure your schedule is up to date. I got a board right next to me to make sure I'm on point and different things like that. And then promotion. I feel like the social media side, the word of mouth side, I think that's a totally different monster, you know. And it kind of leads me into my next question too, because sometimes I feel like some people shy away from marketing or shy away from putting things out there because they don't think people are going to like it, or they don't think people are going to resonate with it, or they don't think, you know, oh, I just released this, but I was promoting it all week. I was promoting it all week again, promoting it all before, you know. So was there ever a point where you felt as if your message wasn't truly being received? Was there ever a point where you kind of felt like you needed to draw back in a sense and not embrace really who you were as a person? Because, and not even really say it like that, but more so saying, did you ever feel like by putting yourself out there, putting your music out there, letting people know what you do, that you were being annoying in a sense, or that you were kind of just like, because, you know, I feel like some people will be like, well, I don't want to keep posting that, or I don't want to keep doing that. Who wants to keep kind of seeing that? But for you as an artist, for what you were doing, for what you were in, for how passionate you were about what you did, how was that for you?
Definitely every week, my life is in shambles. As an artist, I feel like every week to be able to create is a blessing. There's a lot of times where I've even doubted myself, and I've been like, should you be doing this? Can you do this? You work every day, you're preparing your content, you're doing all the things that you mentioned, and then you see somebody who's like, oh, I don't really care about this, I just do it, and they shoot up to fame. So it can be very um it can feel very triggering sometimes to see that. And one thing about me, jealousy I stay away from, because it's not good. It's not good. It doesn't look good on anybody. And I think where jealousy comes in is, I don't want you to have that thing. And I'm never a person who's like, I don't want you to have that. But I think sometimes as an artist, when I'm going through my down periods, I'm like, I want you to have that, but can I also have it too? Can we both be up there? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to take it away from you. I want my little deal too. So I think part of it is being patient. I'm several years in the game. I have done some things, and I'm still someone who can look at someone and be like, damn, I wish I was doing that, or damn, I wish I could be on this level. So I think you have to be patient with yourself. I think um, when you're creating art and it's something that you love, people are always going to feel you, whether you get the like or not. It's coming down people's timelines. People are seeing it. Another thing is social media. A lot of us, I believe, we think we're supposed to really promote our music on social media, and social media isn't really a music promotion tool. It's to show insight into how we are as artists and show our personalities. Touring, touring for me, I feel is the best, or getting out there. I always see you networking all over Philadelphia. That's how I am too. I feel like I can sell myself better in person. I think people feel me more from person, all the time than between a screen. So this is most to be a connecting point with fans and stuff. Not necessarily I put it on here and it should automatically shoot up, although it works like that for some people. I say give it a try. I don't rule anything out. You never know what'll work. I don't believe in boxes. I'm like, do it, try that, try this, try that, see what works. But don't be discouraged and keep doing it.
Because I feel like, there's always going to be, even the mainstream, there's always going to be people who like it and people who don't. You're never going to put out anything that's just infiltrated by all of the masses. That's just, you're never going to be perfect. Like, that's just, you could have, like you said, things that are just that and that people really love and resonate with and everything like that. Right. But that's not everybody's lane. So, and I think a lot of times too, we recognize the importance of not boxing yourself in, as you said, as even on your website, it says you're a versatile artist. And I can definitely tell from how you're speaking and from just even hearing parts of your journey already, you pride yourself in that. You even talked about the pop to R&B switch and just recognizing that, there are different lanes within this. There are different elements of creativity, even within pop and R&B, both collectively and both individually. So as an artist, as somebody who does what you does, and like you said, years in the game, skin in the game at this point, really kind of know what's going on, have seen some things, have been through some things, could really show some people the ropes around this. How important do you think versatility is? Because I feel like even if we talk about it from a mainstream perspective, we see versatility. Right. We're seeing more country collaborations now. We're seeing more country things out there. We're seeing more people want to experiment with party music. And I feel like it was so interesting to grow up north, but go down school in the South. They didn't know about Jersey club mixes and be more club music, right, and kind of Wu-Tanging and all, doing all of that stuff. It wasn't really prevalent like that down there. So I even see, a lot of people experimenting from Philly to Chicago to just different sounds and just different beats and harmonies and things like that. So as someone who does what you does creatively, how important, because you even spoke about trends and keeping up with things and keeping up with fads. But I think we can both agree that while you may want to keep up with things and while you may want to still follow those trends, you still want to be who you are as a creative, who you are as an artist, So how important do you really think that is for the lane that you're in?
I think I'm an Aquarius, so I already have the ick about trends and following the status quo. But I do want to say, it's a very fine line, and I just like to be real and genuine as an artist. I'm not really sure the fine line. I'm definitely teetering it. I always teeter it. I feel there's a fine line between what making something to push yourself as an artist, maybe something in another genre or a genre maybe that's not you but is more popular, trending at the time, and staying true to yourself. And I think that's where versatility comes in. I definitely do try to stay on the trends and keep up with the trends. Everything moves so quickly nowadays. I'm like, yo, I just finished my dance pop album after Renaissance, and now I'm back in the studio and I got to do something country. So you just never know how the trends are going to go, but they keep you on your toes, keep you, youthful, young. It's important to be, like you said, versatile, flexible, or you may get left behind, which is the truth. So what I like to do is I still cut the records I want to do and want to hear, and I'll still even release those. And I still partake in trends. I think of it more of like a challenge or a TikTok challenge. I'm like, oh, let me challenge myself to try this or make this song. Oh, yodeling. I'm gonna go in like I might put that on a hip hop beat and I'm gonna start yodeling. So I try to just be myself and do what I want to do. And even if I'm trying something different, I think every artist has a unique style anyway that will still shine through them trying something different. So,
yo, did y'all hear that though? Like just how that, like how effortlessly just like let that ride. Like, okay, yeah. Nah, so the reason why, so I love that answer for so many reasons. So, well, at the beginning, reason why I smiled so hard when you said Aquarius, my little brother is in Aquarius. When's your birthday? Out of curiosity.
February 15th.
Wow, he's the 17th. That makes absolutely sense. I'm not really a zodiac person. I don't even really know all of them. When is why I know mine and my brother and some close people. But one thing I will always say about like whenever I hear about Aquarius is it's always that uniqueness, that creativity, that like outlier, but not like in a bad way. Just like, yo, I'm not, that's what y'all doing. Okay, cool. I'm over here. I'm gonna just, I'm gonna be. But my brother is that same. He's just the creative, and he's just that person who is never going to box himself in, is never going to fit that normal standard. And I've always loved that about him. So that's why when you said that, man, I just lit up because I was just like, yo, that's really something that they share.
You must be a Taurus or a Leo.
I'm a Leo. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, nah. That's too good. That's not
how it goes. I'm trying to tell you.
I gotta keep my eye out. I gotta watch.
I'm trying to tell you.
That's important though, to really just be able to push yourself and to motivate yourself. And I often think as creatives, sometimes that could really even propel you, and that could really keep you going, because it's, people don't realize that like unless you're just a mainstream, unless you're like the Soldier Boys of the world or those one hit wonders or just people who come out with something that's just ultra catchy, ultra in time, you're gonna have to get some skin in the game. You're gonna have to get some experience. You're gonna have to fall down 9, get up 10. And it's really about, it's gonna have you questioning time after time. I love this. Is this what I want to do? Is this, but it's going to get to a point where that question just is rhetorical. It's just like, that this is, at the end of the day, this is me. This is what I want, down to business 5 years soon. Like that was, it's just happening, but there were some points along this journey where I was just like, wow, like I could just stop right now. I don't have to record another episode. I don't have to schedule anybody. I don't have to put this out or stop. I don't have to get on this page anymore. I could just, stop this. But now it's to the point where I literally have it on my board. It says post D2B every day in some capacity, in some fashion, or different things like that. Now, obviously, we go through different spells. We still have to take care of life. We still are people outside of our creatives, our creative nature, and just who we are as artists and business owners and entrepreneurs. So, but no, I definitely think that as you can even recall your own journey, to be able to see growth, to be able to see that you're not the same person that you were, that's motivating. That's encouragement. That's just like, okay, well, if I got out of that rut or that spell, or if I got out of that zone or that trend, I could do something else, or I could do that, or I can move to this lane or move to this zone. So I think that'll continue to propel you. But also too, something that you spoke about that I'm interested in is the touring aspect of things, because I know plenty of artists in very much different spaces, whether it be the R&B, the pop, the gospel, hip hop, everything like that. But I also know plenty of these artists who don't really tour, who may come out with different projects, singles, may even do like the trendy stuff or different things like that, may even do a show or different things like that. But I think touring is a different ball game. I think it's a different monster. I think it takes a lot of one organization, just planning, just getting things together, support. But I also think it's not easy to get up and do what you do in front of people. in different venues, different spaces, especially people who, or if you're going to different cities or spaces that may not know who you are, may have never heard of you outside of a Google search or a friend of a friend or something like that. So it's one thing to get in the booth, get in the studio and just let it rattle off. That's your creative zone. That's when we're going to do 7 to 10 mixes. We're going to figure some things out, because that's another thing we're going to get into too. But it's another thing when you're outwardly doing that, when it's live, when there's elements involved. So everything like that. So how did you get into touring? And then what's been your perception of it? Like, is it something that you enjoy? Is it something that you do for a specific rhyme or reason? Give us a little insight into that.
So touring, in the words of the late great Michael Jackson, touring is awful. Touring is, touring is hard work. Like you said, touring is hard work, stamina, energy, time management. It is hard planning it. It costs money to tour. But I always tell artists, like, you can just call around different venues in like 2 cities that are even close. You could do Philly, Delaware, Jersey, do 2 shows in each, and that's a tour. Put you up a flyer, you know what I'm saying? That's a tour. And so it doesn't have to be extravagant, and it doesn't have to be big. Also, artistry doesn't have to be done one way. So there are artists who are really tour heavy. They love tour. They want to get on the stage. They love ripping and running. Some artists have anxiety more than others. Maybe they want to do just a show a week. So it's just more so whatever's comfortable for you, and what you attribute to your success within your craft. Me, I'm going for the gold. I'm like on my Beyonce. People will tell you I'm not no Mariah Carey diva or nothing, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. I need everything to be on point. I don't even like delayed arms with dancing. I'm just super a perfectionist, so everything has to be on point. Every arm swing, every leg kick, backing verses, everything has to be on point. And I really don't like anything less. But that's not to say that someday, it hasn't happened yet, but that's not to say that someday, which every artist dreads, like you said, there's a chance, a possibility you could have a show coming up and there's nobody in the crowd. There's 2 people. I haven't had it happen yet, but mentally I am preparing myself for the space of or time of that happening. And I think if that happens, I would like past me to refer to future me, maybe something like, keep your head up, and it's not a huge deal. I really couldn't tell you, like, to be honest, I couldn't tell you what I would do in that situation. But it could happen. It's happened to so many of the greats, so many ungreats. I think we're human, and hopefully I just want to be able to pick myself up through that is what I'd like to do. I just try to be honest. I can't say really what I would do.
I love that, because I'm the same way. I'm just like a person who, you can think about it, you can envision it, but you can't really speak on a situation until you've been in that. We could all kind of say what we would do if this happened, or how we would think if this happened, or what would we think if this happened. But when it's really happening, when them instincts, when them nerves are going and flowing, and that anxiety is kicking in or everything like that, you never really know. But on the back end, like you said, how do you rebound from that? How do you pick yourself back up from that? Yes, right. You may lose a little bit of motivation, be discouraged a little bit, but do you stay that way? Or right. Do you recognize that West Oak Lane Jazz Festival? Do you recognize Lock Haven University in that SoundCloud moment? Do you recognize that transition that you made? Do you recognize how many people have resonated with what you've been able to do? Do you know people that really know you, know your projects, know the quality and the authenticity of work that you put out, and support that? So you can't let a few non-believers shake the believers. And I'm a firm just supporter of that, just because even when you make it to, like you said, it can happen to greats, it can happen to ungrats. And right. I guarantee you that anybody who you talk to in the mainstream space, or people who we listen to, or people who you can just Google or search, they not letting a no show or a shade room or a nothing stop they grind, or whatever they got going on, a DJ Academics or whatever if anything, they use right. that to fuel them, because that's another viral moment for them. Oh, y'all didn't come to the show, everybody laughing. Well, y'all laughing at me, y'all just put my name right back in the spotlight, and now right. people search me. Now we doing more. So even sometimes they turn a negative into a positive, just like that. So okay, so we're doing this interview when we're actually, so for everybody, I'm gonna just give the audience out there a little bit of transparency, not to say I don't do that, but we're doing this interview when Lucid has not released just yet. It'll be releasing in a couple of days. It'll actually be releasing this week. By the time y'all hear this interview, though, it will already be out. So what is the, man, I just want to know. Obviously, I've been seeing the promotion for it. I've been reading the social media posts about it. I was going through the website and just seeing how you kind of have it orchestrated and everything. And yeah, I can tell just from your website alone, you said you need things. Yeah, clear cut.
Yeah, it's gotta be perfect.
I get it. What was the process like of creating this? What does this piece really mean to you? Why has it been something that you're really, one, obviously you're gonna put yourself out there, you're gonna promote yourself, you're gonna market yourself. But why is this something that's so special to you to get out there to everyone else?
This song is the first track I produced. So I'm excited, number one, about that, because I'm excited about expanding into different types of production on my musical endeavors. I also want to say this track is a different era of me, and it's more of Bad Boy Fitch. 2 a.m. Drive was kind of Sad Boy Fitch, and Bloodlust was more of a compilation, because like I wanted to re-push out a lot of songs that I felt didn't get their shine. And then I threw on about 4 or 5 new tracks to Bloodlust. So people could still be, still getting that new content from me. But I would say this new music is more mature. It's exploring more of my personal life. I'm letting people in more with my personal life and the people I date and the people I deal with. And a lot of people will notice a lot of my music early on is gender neutral. And that was because at the time I wanted my music to be, the sole focus to be not who I was talking about, but the quality and the sound. And, that love is universal. Love is something we all feel. So this new project is me putting myself out there. I am talking about love interest. I am talking about hating people, loving people, taking my drinks, enjoying my youth. And I think a lot of this music is it's a little stressful. If I could just like give a word, it is stress. It is hangovers. It is sexy. It is alluring. It is fresh. It is truly a lot of Afro influence, a lot of reggae influence, hip hop influence, and of course, I had to sprinkle my little R&B on there. So I'm really excited for everyone to hear it. And I'm also not releasing this project necessarily as a big body. I'm going to be dropping it as singles. And I am going to kind of be telling a story as I'm dropping them as singles. So Lucid is coming out May 23rd. It's going to be on all digital platforms. And Lucid is a night in Jamaica at the dance hall scene, but it's a little different. It is, you're having your drinks, you're stepping out, you see someone, they see you, you about to put your little moves on them, it's a night out. It's a night out in Jamaica. And I just really feel like people are going to enjoy it.
And to even really, as you took us in, it's why I really enjoy talking to artists and really just exploring their creativity, because you never know what they're thinking. You never know what direction that they're moving into, what they want to explore, how they're feeling, everything like that. Like, so to really even hear about it like that, to really even hear everything that went into this, to really even, because, now some people are going to go listen to 2 a.m. Drive. Now, some people are going to want to kind of hear that transition of that sound and see what you were talking about then, what's now, and just that transgression. And I feel like as an artist too, it also just these different eras of these different spaces that you're in, they show the growth too. They show kind of where you were here and what sound you were making here and what you were doing in this element. But now, what you're doing now, how you're feeling now. And then I could even imagine once we touch on the futuristic aspect, you'll be thinking about new different things. You'll be coming across new different things. Like you said, now you're getting into production. That's very interesting. That's a different lane of music, and that'll open your eyes in a different way and in a different perspective. So I'm interested. So like I said, by the time y'all listen to this, as y'all are hearing this, Lucid is out. So go get it, go download it, go stream it. Let us know what you think. Leave some, when we drop this episode officially, leave some leave some feedback in the comments. Let us know. Give us everything, because now I'm gonna get to listen to it in 2 days. But y'all not gonna really know until then. But that's even a big part of how people tune in and how people find out about the journey and everything like that. So I love that. All right, so now, in thinking about something I love to put my artists on the spot with. So obviously there are going to be people who have never heard of you but love music, whether it be from an R&B perspective, a pop perspective, hip hop, just love music. If it sounds good, let me hear it. Love producing or trying to get into it in some capacity. For people who know nothing about you, haven't touched the website yet, maybe haven't gone to social media, but they're just hearing us as we speak now, who do you compare yourself to? Who do you emulate yourself to? While, as you know, we're very unique in our crafts and our creative nature and everything like that. Can somebody hear you and maybe hear another sound or hear another like vibe or hear some inspiration behind the type of music that you produce and that you make?
That's actually pretty interesting. I have been told I kind of have inflections of maybe like a Neo, and I'm just Neo. When I was younger, I heard a little bit of Chris Brown. I really don't know who I sound like, to be honest, because some people will go, "Oh, I can't really find or pinpoint you," which I'm also flattered with that. And then some people will also go, you have inflections of this. I'm like, I also love that artist, so I'm flattered. So if you ask me, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I would say some of my muses that I study. I love a lot of female singers. I love Ariana Grande. I love Mariah. I love a lot of dynamic singers. Whitney. Of course, I love Michael. I mean, who doesn't? It's so many artists that, I could tell you I love and run through, but I would have to say a lot of the artists I'm listening to now maybe have a similar speaking voice to me. I think in the studio, belting has always been something I do. But I also think some songs, depending on who the male artist is, have always been a little more difficult with that lower register. Even when Ari dropped Dangerous Woman, I feel like that was a project I really resonated with. Baby, come write me up. Baby, I'll let you on it. So I was just like a big fan of just the rhythmic nature of the project, the instrumentation. I love me some Anita. I need Anita to come out on stage, and I need her to actually perform because we're here for you, Anita. And I'm just saying, so I love a lot of the greats. But I also I think people go, you can't forget the greats. You can't do this. I love a lot of the greats, but I also appreciate a lot of what the newer artists are bringing. I love the dynamics, the music changes, the instrumentation, and a lot of stuff that's going into it now.
Woo, okay. I like what you said too about how some people can pinpoint it and some people can't, because I think either way that's a compliment. That's a unique trait, because sometimes we want to make our own sound. We want people to grow up and, oh yeah, that sound like he sound a little bit like Fitch Means. He got some Fitch Means on him, like yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, but no, you also, like you said, there are still, while we're always looking to perfect our craft, we're always looking to be our best self. You have to look at those greats and you have to study those greats, because those greats are studying greats and those greats are studying greats, so we're all just inspirations and sometimes emulations of just one another, but still in our own lane, in our own way, in our own inflections. So that's amazing for me to hear. But yeah, look, we're gonna make sure Anita personally gets this episode, because yeah, we, like you said, we here for you, baby. We love you, baby. I promise we do. So growing up in Philly, it's really, and even kind of being away from Philly, coming back, but also seeing it, being able to connect with other people the same way, it showed me the type of city that it is, the type of city that it can be, how sometimes it can really be that crabs in a barrel mentality, and how it could really just be, sometimes we don't even do our own people any good, or we're quick to just ride around, especially from a sports perspective. It's just, when Philly love you, they love you. When they hate you, whoo, you really gonna feel it through and through. It's a hard thing. So do you find a lot of that to be true, and do you find a lot of that to translate into like the music scene as well? Like, is it easy to is it a collaborative space out there? Is it a creative space out there? Do you kind of have to find your crowd in the sense? Do you feel like everybody's kind of just open arms to different creatives out there to show love and support? What has your experience been like with that?
I love Philly, and simply I do, and I really just do. If it's one thing I do, it's going to be love and love Philly. But we do not have a very collaborative music scene. I think it's very cliquish. I think it can be very difficult to get out there. But on the same breath, I would be lying if I also didn't say that I have met some really amazing, fantastic artists who collab and share the stage. But it's so easy for me to highlight them because of how many bad eggs there are in the music scene. Is people don't really like to share. First of all, it's hard for the bands to collab with the singers. If you have a band, people don't like sharing their bands. And I've been blessed to meet so many people who have offered me a lending hand on trying to find a band and trying to get some of the resources I have. And so to those people, and they know who I'm talking to, I just really love y'all, and I think y'all are great. And keep doing what you do. But in my time, I think we do have to do better. We are too talented in Philly to not be collaborating. And one thing about us, Philly breeds gems. We may not be collaborating, but individually, I can't even hate. These artists are killing it. These artists are stepping on necks. They just need to share a little bit. But outside of that, they are killing it. They are stepping on necks. They are devouring the visuals, the music. I'm impressed by the Philly music scene. I just would love to see us welcome each other and have more events where we are all maybe, if you can't pay the artist, maybe you can collab a service for a service or something like that. And everyone, I feel like there are people in Philly, because as artists, we do deserve to be paid for our art. But I think business-wise, there are levels to this. And I think if you don't have the accolades under your belt or things that you've done or accomplishments, really, it's very hard to walk into a situation and go, oh, you need to pay me $400 for this. And I'm a firm believer in everybody should be paid. All the artists should be compensated for their time and energy. But I also think there are levels. And I think nowadays, there was a time when I didn't get paid for anything, like for the sake of exposure or getting myself out there. It's not saying it's right. It's not saying it's wrong. But I remember I didn't have certain things under my belt. So you couldn't just walk into a room and be like, what is it? Like, what is this? So, there are levels of building yourself up. There are people who are going to pay these creators. And I'm somebody, if I get paid, I always pay who I'm working with, and I'm transparent. So if I can't pay, I tell people that I've never misled anyone. I always tell people, what it is, and we just work it out or we don't. That's kind of the collaboration scene. You either work it out or you don't. But I've met a lot of talented people, and we are all so talented. We need to network more. We need to be sharing each other's content more and going to more of each other's events. I was speaking about this, not to go too deep into it, but I was speaking about this a little while ago. I spent my last 2 years kind of going to everyone's events because I just wanted to kind of test something. And then you'll find when you have one, it's nowhere to be found. And then what they tell you is, oh, well, try again next year. But my thing is, what's the energy of try again next year if y'all aren't going to support next year either? So I'm just very real. I go where I'm loved, and I go where the money is. I love Philly. If somebody wants to collab, everyone knows I'm open. I'm the first person that's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's set up a time. I'm very punctual. I'm on it. But if they don't let that deter you. Just keep doing you. Travel more. Philly is great. Philly is even better, I feel, because even though we don't put our artists on necessarily, we prepare our artists. You got to have thick skin to be an artist in Philly. Like you said, if we hate you, we are the city that throws tomatoes. We will boo you. FOH, dickhead. Like, we will, you know what I'm saying? We be like, that joke was ass. You thought that shit was funny? Like, we will really be like that. So we breed gems, and I think because I'm from Philly, I have really thick skin as an artist. I think I can go into spaces and hear no, and I don't have a meltdown or necessarily feel so bad. Outside of that, again, the talent is here. It's all around you. We just need to talk more. We need to connect more. I would love to see all these different communities and cliques come together. I love when all of us can link together and it's just peace.
Some people going to stop the interview after that one. You gave a little too much, man. You gave, a little too much, man. But nah, Philly is the city to bid all day. Right, wrong, or indifferent. You know what I mean? But I also do feel like I feel like everybody, especially our city specifically, we're one share, one collaboration, one show, one retweet, one repost, one single, one feature, one production, one recording session away from greatness. And I really feel like if we just more so tapped in with one another and stopped worried about what we were doing and how to one up us or different things like that, or throw the shade and everything, man, we can, if we spend all that energy to just collab with one another, put two creative minds together, because I don't necessarily always see it as, I think beyond just the two people collaborating, I think those are two groups that you have. They know people, they have a team, they have supporters, they have, and then coming from the other side. So you mix and mingle all of that together, man, the possibilities are endless. I've seen it even happen really with the podcast, how two episodes can not know anything about one another, but they come together. Service, giveaway for a giveaway or something like that. And now you got crowds connecting across the East Coast, Midwest, West Coast. Like, so, I feel like the possibilities are really endless, and it's really up to us to tap into it. But I completely agree with you. And I almost asked that question like rhetorically as a Northerner, as a Philly person. I asked that. I knew what your answer was going to be, but I want everybody else to really hear, that's how it is, like nitty gritty. Like they will really, they see you doing it, and they turn they scrolling past it, or they doing they'll play it twice, but it won't double tap it or won't do it. You know what I'm saying? So it can really get into that. But like you said, it breeds an animal in a sense. It breeds somebody who is just like, okay, well, I go somewhere else. Oh, that's it. And y'all actually were polite about it. Okay, appreciate that. Okay. Well, hey, thank you. I don't feel too bad. You know, it's almost like they accepted you. Like you walk away, and it's just like, okay, I done been through way worse. I done been told no in so many different ways, been called out my name, this and that, and I'm just trying to, I'm just looking for an opportunity in a sense. So, but that's really the real of it. So, okay, I'm thinking a lot now about what's next. We love here on the Down to Business podcast. We love talking futuristically. We don't like to spoil any surprises. We don't like to put anything out there that doesn't need to be disclosed. But I love to keep people in the know, and I more so think about those newcomers. Like I said, people who are following along the journey now, when they're hearing this episode, when they're kind of tapping into you. So, what can people look forward to when it comes to Fitch Means? Are you starting to get more into the producing space, as we spoke about with what you did with Lucid? Are you, as you said, you're about to continue to tell a story. You're about to make things kind of separate as opposed to just one collective project. So for people tapping in, for people following along your journey now, and even for my Philly folks and my local folks and people who know who Fitch Means since day one, what can people expect moving forward as we continue to go through the rest of the year?
I'm going to be getting into some more modeling. I'm actually going to be getting into acting as well. So I'm excited about that. So I have a few cameos that I was in on Tubi. So if y'all type my name in, y'all should be able to find me. But I'm gonna be getting into acting more, and this year I'm just bringing genuineness, realness, and I'm getting it done. And any obstacle will be stepped over. And I do leave people off bad and bougie. So I'm just saying, so I'm excited this year. If you want some good music and just a genuine personality, I would just tap in with me. Like I'm not really trying to sell a version of myself or be who everyone likes. And then my only thing is, you don't have to like me, but you're going to at least say like that record was hot. Like that was the joint. I don't even like him. Like you could keep, you know what I'm saying? But that record was hot. So I just want people to tap in and check out my music and DM me. I'm very personal with my fans. I definitely like to interact with them. I try to set up different events and things for us to come together and hear new music or interact with each other. And, if you're interested in any of that, just DM me, send me an email. My team will respond to it, and I'm just bringing the vibes.
All right now, look, he said, look, you might not like me, but hey, you gonna admit this music is hot now. Come on, dog.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love that. I really love that for sure, man. It's really just been interesting to hear this perspective, to hear this story, this journey, but even to just see what's to come, and really just to see, like you said, if anything, that your foot is nowhere near that brake. That thing is just slowly but surely hitting that gas every time. Every
Okay.
time, we do something here. Okay, let's up the ante a little bit. So I'm encouraging, everybody who's coming across this interview. We're gonna have people from everywhere to just tap in, and especially my artists. I'm gonna even be connecting you with a few artists who I have from more so North Carolina, but I'll even they're going to be along the East Coast, and I have some people even in Texas too who I want to bring you together with, because I feel like y'all get together, y'all can make some sounds. I got some really dope people who I feel like y'all can make some things shake and bake. So before we officially close out, before we tell people where they can find you, everything like that, do you feel like there's anything that we haven't touched on, or even any last words that you want to leave for people out there, whether they be business owners, entrepreneurs, creatives, people looking to get into the music scene, maybe still in the music scene, or just anything that you want people hearing this episode to know?
I want artists to know we are in this together, and keep doing you. I'm gonna be doing me. I'm gonna be, making it hot, making it right. Little Caesar's hot and ready. I'm bringing all the heat and all the fire. So I suggest every artist do the same. I want everybody's light to shine. And, if you love my music, definitely don't hesitate to let me know. I love to give flowers while we're here. I'm friendly. Don't hesitate to reach out and, tap in. I'm going to be in a couple different cities this year. I'm going to be in several more cities next year. And, I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the sound of necks breaking, because I got my foot on everybody's neck. So I just want to say, you can follow me on Instagram at Fitch Means. That's FITCH. And means like I was mean to you with an S at the end, but don't worry, I'm not too mean. And just tap in.
Little Caesars hot and ready, y'all. Something about Little Caesars that's so funny is Little Caesars is always, they say Little Caesars is always good when you ain't got somebody in your ear telling you that it's not. So look, I say that to say don't be listening to my guy music on the side or by yourself and trying to act like it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? So look, everybody tap in, please. Like I said,
Right.
he said that he's coming to a city near you, maybe even coming to a country near you. Like he said, man, we're gonna manifest things, we're gonna make things happen. But at the end of the day, we know that come on now. Hold it back a little bit. Yeah. But at the end of the day, look, I know we're going to have some creatives tapping into this, coming across this collaboration over competition every single time. Now, obviously, when y'all get on the track and collab, y'all got to give each other the run for the money. Like you got to show it up and show it out for sure. But at the end of the day, we all want everybody to win. We all in the same lane for the same thing. So, arguably the most important part. Now, you said so many important things. You said so many, just dropped so many gems, gave so much encouragement, motivation, enlightenment, and everything like that. But we need the people to tap into. So give us everything you have, from social media to the websites to Apple Music, everything that you have, every place that somebody can find you. Let us know.
You can find me on all music platforms at Fitch Means. Again, that's FITCH, and means like I was meaning to you with an S at the end. And all my Instagram, all my social media, I think except for Twitter, which is Fitch_Means. Everything else you can find me on there as Fitch Means as well. My website is www.fitchmeans.com. And it's all Fitch Means. I'm everywhere, global, not local.
Come on now. We across the globe with it. So no, seriously, man, from me to you, I appreciate you taking the time, bro. It really does mean a lot. Like I said, whenever Philly creators can link up, it's always a blessing for me. And it's always just a message that I want to get out there to the rest of the city, to the rest of the people, to recognize that, look, we can make this happen in different spaces, in different places. We all gearing towards the same things. And as I will continue to preach, it's always going to be collaboration over competition. It's really nothing to compete about. There's so much out here for everybody. So thank you for allowing my audience to tap in, giving us some gems. We have some people joining us live that definitely got some great insight from this, but I'm definitely encouraging everybody, when you hear this episode, to tap in. tap in from just a showing love. It costs $0 and 0 cents to show love, to repost the song, to stream it, to go to Apple Music and find it, to go to the website, show some love, and give them a follow, everything like that. Tell a friend to tell a friend. So to everybody tapping in, to everybody who continuously shows us love, from the live events to the giveaways to just even the feedback that y'all give on the episodes, I love y'all. I thank y'all. This has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast. Here with Tamar Turner.